Cambridge Audio has always been a pioneer in the latest audio tech. Why did the Evo 150 come out years after its competitors? Was it worth the wait? Let's find out. Welcome back to Hi-Fi. I'm Marcos, this is Kurt. Today we're talking about the Cambridge Audio Evo 150.
What I'll really give it to Cambridge Audio is they've always been a pioneer in the industry. First, I remember, I think it was around 2007, they released a 640H, which was a hard drive based server, and at its time, that was really quite ahead.
I think that's when I got my first iPod.
In around 2010, they released the DAC Magic, which was one of the very first that I can remember USB plug-in type DAC. Fast forward to 2013, they released the Minx Xi, which really mimics this, just in an older, kind of like an older version. It was an all-in-one player. So to kind of say that everybody released everything prior, they were still really the first with that unit.
At first glance, the Cambridge Audio Evo 150 features 150 watts of power into 8 ohm using their brand new developed Class D Hypex N-Core amplifier. Analog inputs, you have a phono stage, balance XLR and RCA. Digital, you have an optical, coax and HDMI. It features a solid aluminum chassis, replaceable side panels, has physical buttons and knobs, and overall has a very quality feel to it.
Overall, I really do like the looks of it. It feels premium. Looks like to be about a 1/4 inch, like a aluminum piece on there. I like how they have the large screen. This is kind of offset, so you almost got that 1/3, 2/3 thing going on there, giving a really contemporary look. The source select button, it's got this nice, really rigid tactile feel to it. The volume control feels really nice. I would say the only thing that I wish it did have was a touch. I think it would just add it to the whole updated
Latest tech type thing.
Basically, yes. Thank you.
Yeah, well, I guess with the touchscreen, it might be a little bit easier to navigate. Right out of the box, I found the Evo 150, getting it set up using their Stream Magic app was really simple. It connected right away. It was actually really easy to add it to our Wi-Fi network here. I am actually very impressed with the app. I think it's probably one of the best in the audio business.
Especially when they released their new app, and they did a really good job on this latest version. The interface looks really good. The only thing I would have to say is the volume. Because when you're on the screen listening to music, you had to swipe to change the volume. It would have been a lot easier if you added it to the bottom of the screen. Other than that, considering that audio companies are not software development companies, they did an excellent job with this app.
When it comes to the performance of the Cambridge Audio Evo 150, I found it just had really nicely detailed highs, a nice clean mid-range, and when it comes to the bass, it was very clean, very sharp.
Overall impression of this, it's a very neutral balanced amplifier. The soundstage was also quite neutral balanced, not too far forward, not too far back, which is, I really like amplifiers that kind of have this sonic signature, more on the neutral side. What I did notice is this really big thing, the distortion was really low. The background was jet black. It was just overall a very low distortion amplifier.
When it comes to our classic dB test, the Cambridge Audio Evo 150 did not disappoint. At around 60 decibels, a regular conversation level, it really was nicely detailed, well balanced. and performed really well, filled out the room well.
Yeah. I was very shocked at the performance at a low level. A lot of times, especially the way, I don't want to get too technical, but the way digital volume controls work, sometimes you lose on the top end and on the bottom end as you go lower on the amplifier. Even at our measurements, it was quite linear. When we tested this at that low 60 dB volume, I was very impressed. You can still hear everything, all the detail, the bass, everything comes across very well at low volume listening.
At higher volume levels, around 86, 87 decibels, the amplifier did not miss a beat. It was still very nicely detailed, very low distortion.
Yeah, with this amplifier, there's way more than enough power. Even when we're reaching at higher levels, at that 87 decibels, it was still dynamic. There was still no distortion at that point. And also remember, when we're measuring this is at about 15 feet away, with 9-foot ceilings, approximately 200 square foot room, and they're able to fill that with an 87 dB sensitivity speaker. That's quite some impressive results. If we had, for example, one of our last reviews that we did, the Lintons, we were hitting levels way above the 95 decibel range. So more than enough power.
When it came to listening to the Cambridge Audio Evo 150, we listened to a wide variety of music, as we usually do. 2 songs that kind of stood out for us: Populous, Crew. What I love about this song is the transient bass and the moving vocals on this amplifier as well. At the end of the song, she starts whispering, almost kind of like just spoken word, and you can really tell, you can really hear all the details
in this song, because it's such a low distortion amplifier and the backgrounds are black, so instruments and things just tend to pop. And what I noticed is in the maracas, the seeds or beans or whatever was inside there, you can hear all the texturing and moving and the shaking inside there. So it just really comes to life and really pops. The soundstage, I noticed there's, I don't know, what kind of almost someone exhaling in the back. I don't know if you noticed in that part, but it was neat because you can see how they're just exhaling the background, and you still got instruments and the singers in the front. So it really did create a good 3-dimensional space when I was listening to this. It was neat. It was almost, when you mentioned that part about kind of coming off, what happens is they would pan her voice kind of like just on the right side, almost like someone's kind of whispering it out. And you really got this good effect because it was quite holographic that this amplifier was really able to create.
The second song we listened to and we felt really stood out, Black Sabbath's Paranoid. We picked this song because it's well known to be quite dynamically compressed, that genre of music. And on certain amplifiers, it can be quite hard to listen to. On the Cambridge Evo 150, it was actually quite nice. They presented really well. You could hear the placement of the band and where they were standing in the room. It was pretty nice.
And I think what do you mean about kind of hard to listen to? We don't think the music, because the music is good. I mean, is over long periods of time. When things are dynamically compressed, sometimes it can be a little bit fatiguing. This amplifier, I'm not sure what they're doing though. There is something maybe it's in the DSP, but it just comes off as it's just smoothing things out. And I was quite surprised that in this particular song or that genre, it really makes it a lot easier to listen to for long periods of time. One thing I found really neat is with this amplifier, because the background noise is so low and there's a lot of detail in the amp, you're still able to pick up everything. Even when it comes to the cymbals and everything, you can still get a really good impression of the shimmer and everything that it comes off. Also too, as well, the soundstage, you can still locate everything really well. And I think is because this, in that price range too, this is picking up a lot of information in the music, and it really still creates a nice stage, even with some of this more highly dynamically compressed music.
The one thing I also really loved about this amp with Paranoid was the bass line. I always loved the bass line in this track, and it was actually really nicely detailed when listening to it.
Because, again, always about the bass. Yeah.
We really recommend the Evo 150 for today's modern homes. It has an awesome modern decor, and it's really for the listener who's looking for amazing convenience and really next level sound. One fact I really love about this is the built-in phono stage, so you can easily add an extra turntable and kind of reduce on clutter. You don't need an external phono stage.
Overall, my impression of this is really good. I think the sound quality in this price point, in this package, sounds excellent. I would love to see, I think what we need to do is compare it to its other competitors in the future, such as the M10, the new M10 V2 that's coming out, as well as the Naim Atom. I think this, from what I can hear now, this will be a really good contender. The one really benefit I see with this is you don't have to worry about matching the speakers too much. Yes, you do in terms of sound quality and what you might like in the presentation of the sound, but in its ability to drive the speaker. I can tell, especially when driving it with these speakers, this can pretty much drive the majority of speakers on the market today.
Even though the Cambridge Audio Evo 150 was a little bit late to the game, we still think it was an awesome addition to today's market of amplifiers.
I think the Cambridge Audio 150 really nailed it in this price point. I think it's going to have their competitors scared, and they should be.
Comment below and let us know what you would like us to compare the Evo 150 to. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.